let's see if we can do this real quick, just the beginning thing. So there are 6 steps to designing a statistical study. The first step is to identify exactly what you want to study. Sometimes it's hard to identify exactly what information you need from people, or whether the data you're collecting is actually going to solve your problem. So I want you to write a note under here that is, make sure your population matches your sample. For example, let's say that I was talking about the political leanings of every student in this school. And let's say I interviewed this class, and I'm not going to interview you because that's uncomfortable, but let's say that we found out that these 5 people in front of me, plus Noah, are generally liberal, okay? Does that mean that the school is generally liberal? No, it's a really small sample size, but also you have to think about stuff like the kind of kids who would take an intro to stats class, an elective math class. Are those the kind of kids that represent this whole population? Also, you guys are juniors and seniors, right? And maybe the freshman class is particularly conservative or particularly liberal. So you kind of have to make sure that your little sample is representative of your whole population. Step 2 is to develop a detailed plan for collecting the data.
So in the first one, pretty much just get a wide sample, pretty much?
The first one, you're just kind of thinking about exactly what you want to study, and then identifying what your population would be and who your sample would be. Develop a detailed plan for collecting data. And then it's important that you do it the same way every time. Make sure you collect data the same way every time. For example, if you were, what did we have last year? We had like somebody who was doing a stats experiment where they were having people throw free throws. And then halfway through, one of the students was like, can I have is it like a girls or boys ball, or one of them smaller than the other, right? And they asked for a different ball, and he gave it to them. And then, so halfway through the experiment, they switched which ball they were using, and then that completely messed up the whole experiment. Step 3 is to collect the data following your plan. Step 4 is to describe the data. That's, you can use graphs or central tendencies. That would be like mean, median, mode, standard deviation, if it's quantitative. So far, we've only done facts. Okay, then you interpret the data. And generalize to the population. I asked 15,000 registered voters who they plan to vote for president. It was overwhelmingly this, therefore I'm going to say that the results of the elections will probably be that this person will win. And 6, the most important part of any study is to identify possible errors. It is far too common, and not in a negative way, in a positive way. It's very common that you do a statistical analysis or a study, and then you realize that your whole study's bogus, and that you asked the wrong question, or you asked it the wrong way, or you didn't get the right sample, and you have to start over. Because it is dangerous to generalize to the population when you know that your data's wrong. So it's really important to identify possible errors when you're done. And when we do projects, we will be definitely talking about any errors that you might have made. Sound good? All right, that's it.